right thing, could you say something?
Defunding the police, defunding the prosecution, defunding even the courts.
It's about you. It's about all of you. Just stand up, people. Federal Way, stand up. Would you stand up? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for standing up against drug addiction. Thank you for standing up for the people of Federal Way. Thank you for standing up for what we needed to have done, because we would not have gotten it done without you. You are the people who helped us change the council, to change the people on the council so that we could pass an ordinance that said, no sit, no sleep, no lie on public sidewalk. We didn't get that passed until we had the new council. Thank you. So we don't have people laying in front of the mall doing drugs. Yeah, thank you. Wouldn't have done it without you. Would my family stand up? Yeah, that's you, Matt, Aaron, Dylan, if he's still here. So the two older ones are part of the 6 kids I raised. You think it's to go to the state legislature, you need to be a state representative. No, you don't. You just need to raise 6 kids. Honest to gosh, you know, talk about crime, talk about giving people a hug to keep them out of trouble. No, you don't. You need accountability. You did. What? You're not doing that again. Period. Okay? There is no second chance. No third, fourth chance to go into 7-Eleven and pull a gun, and at some point somebody's going to get killed. No, you're not doing that. So you need to have people with common sense in the state legislature. Where's my campaign staff? Maureen, Robin, I'd be dead in the water without you. Debbie Saban. Would all the Republicans stand up, please? The Republicans, PCOs, Republican, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. You're going to be able to get it done. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Chris Levitt, for the photographer. Chris Levitt needs some good photography. He's the one who's doing the photography. Wonderful man. Thank you. Sub-Zero, Jack Walsh, Judy Walsh. You know, I think it's Jack and now it's Judy. Judy's doing all that. I'll work you to 11 with Judy. Yeah. Sub-Zero ice cream. Thank you. Voted the best ice cream in Federal Way by readers of Federal Year. Thank you. Yeah, and my colleagues on the City Council, Susan Honda, stand up, Deputy Mayor. Okay. Are you still here, Jody? Hey, there you are. Erica had to leave a little early, so wonderful people to have on the council with me, not to mention Jack Walsh, thank God. Okay. So Father Tom, I sat in his every Sunday for years, listening to him, and I would take notes because he had wonderful, he said things wonderfully well, and I would have to write them down so I wouldn't forget them. He had one quote that I love from a French philosopher. It said, we are not human beings having, we are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. So if you remember that, I think it was Descartes, I don't remember, but if you remember that, you remember that you really are a spiritual being and you are to love everybody. And so because of that, I'm not going to talk about my opponent, but I will talk about she was prime sponsor of a bill that really bothers me, and it was the comprehensive sex ed bill that's now being taught in all of our schools. And if you don't know what that is, you need to find out. Quentin Morris will tell you all about it. Quentin, raise your hand again.
I'm over here.
Oh, there you are.
Moving target.
Yeah. Quentin used to sell planes for Boeing, so he knows a little bit about business, but he also knows about what's right and what's wrong. So we need to protect the innocence of our children. And I want to tell you a little story about my little great-granddaughter, my 4-year-old. I went to pick her up on March 17th from her preschool at St. Vincent's. And of course, March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, and she was all excited. She came out and she said, Grandma, we went out to the playground, and while I was out there, all the water in the toilets turned green. A leprechaun came in and he peed in all the toilets. And I said, oh, honey. And he said, not only that, he turned on all the TVs and he messed up all of our paperwork. And I said, well, honey, you know, leprechauns are very mischievous. You'll never see one. And she said, oh, yes, Grandma, I saw one. And I said, you did? Yeah, I saw out the window. I looked out the window and I saw one. And I said, okay, honey, what did he look like? Oh, he was green. So the reason I tell you that is that's the innocence of our children. Don't take our innocence away from our children by teaching them things that they are not ready for. That's the parents' problem. That's the parental involvement of you. So what I certainly cannot aspire to be as good as John Brown. I can't aspire to be as eloquent as Ronald Reagan, Mr. Reagan. But I can stand there and say, I don't think so, over my dead body.
Come on.
Are you crazy? I have stood on the floor of this state legislature in the House and said, I'm not going to vote for that. You're nuts. And that didn't go over real well. Because the Democrats have been in charge for a long time. So, but what I do want to say is, you're all wonderful people. I don't want to talk about me, I want to talk about you. My friend Bobby Bronson, are you still here? Bobby, raise your hand. Yeah, she asked me, and Bobby and the Conkles, we go to breakfast after church on Sundays, and the Gentrys are here. She said, how do you do this? How can, and I said, I'm scared all the time. And then I said, and you know what else? I'm embarrassed all the time. I sit behind the organ in church because nobody can see me. But one thing I will use a French word for is that I'm pissed. So that's it. I'm pissed about crime. I'm pissed about the fact that you get your car stolen, and even if you get them back, which you may not, your catalytic converter may not be on it. Okay, I'm pissed at this drive-by shootings that we're having. I'm pissed at what's going on in our communities. I'm pissed at the homelessness that they think that you can put homeless addicts from from Seattle in a Federal Way motel at the extended stay. 85%, meaning 85 people is 101 units, are chronically addicted folks from Seattle. Chronically addicted means either drugs or alcohol. They're just going to be housed. They're going to be calling for their addict to come bring their drug of choice, and they're going to do it right in front of the hotel, right in front of apartments. We can't have that. We can't have people laying on our streets doing drugs. What on earth are people thinking of? So that's what I will do for you. I will say, no, I don't think so. All my 5'2", I shrunk. Part of me will be working for you on your behalf as much as I can, and I can tell you my children will vouch for this, that I get angry. Yes. And I will make sure they hear from me. So thank you very much.
That's just the letterhead that she uses, signing her personal name.
The physical level, somewhere on other continents, but there's war going on.